Man, there have just been trailers popping up left to right. We had the new Suicide Squad trailer and Fantastic Beasts, which I talked about in my Arkham Asylum playthrough. We had the Doctor Strange trailer, which came out Tuesday. And really briefly, I'll say it looks cool, but I don't know enough about the character to really give a full opinion. So I'll just wait and see another trailer to form an opinion. But the one that I'm the most curious about, that really just came out of nowhere for me, is the trailer for Godzilla Resurgence, which I really briefly talked about in my review for Rebirth of Mothra 3 in Toho month back in February. But basically, this is Toho's brand new Godzilla movie since 2004's Godzilla Final Wars. So they haven't made a Godzilla movie in 12 years. We saw the American version from Gareth Edwards, which I thought was a success personally. So now it's time to see the Japanese bring Godzilla back to their homeland. We had a trailer a few months ago, which really was not all that good. It was pretty much Cloverfield, just a bunch of people running in panic. Didn't really see Godzilla at all. So that was underwhelming. But now we got our full trailer, and, as a Godzilla fan, this is actually kind of an underwhelming trailer. Now, let me explain, first of all. It mainly has to do with what this trailer presents, because all there is just clips of what we're going to see in the movie. Cut to this music, which I think fits the mood, if the movie's trying to be dark and horrific. But let me get into the big thing, which is Godzilla himself. We've seen photos of what this new Godzilla design will be, but now we finally get to see this monster in action, and there are things I like about it and things that I don't like. The things I like about this new design for Godzilla is the way he looks. He looks just like Godzilla. I love how he really does look like he's mutated. His eyes look horrific, his teeth look horrifying. It looks like there's exposed flesh throughout the whole thing. He really does look like a monster and something that really mutated from a nuclear bomb. Who is interrupting my... Cops. What can you do? But anyway, he really looks horrific, and I think this will be the first time we actually get a scary Godzilla since 2001's GMK Giant Monsters All Out Attack. But it looks like this is going to be the first movie since 1984's The Return of Godzilla where he's on his own, as in he's not fighting another monster. And that's going to be really tricky because that's going to be really tricky to do because the two times Godzilla has been on his own, in 1954 and 1984, there was like a heavy nuclear message. And you really have to make that compelling in order to make another Godzilla Solo outing work. Because the original Godzilla is obviously trying to do a post-war commentary on the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, where Godzilla is just a walking nuclear bomb. And then in The Return of Godzilla, it took place during the Cold War. So its Cold War commentary worked for that movie when it came out, even if it is outdated by today's standards. So this movie is going to have to play into whatever real-life horror is going on through Japan at the moment, in order to really make it scary since Godzilla is on his own. Or maybe something horrific that's going on worldwide, since Toho did say they want this movie to play to an international audience. So I think if they bring that into it, along with some compelling human characters, mixed with this horrific design of Godzilla, it could work. Now, let me get into things that I didn't like so much. Let's go back to Godzilla himself. While I think the design really looks menacing, there are some major things with this new suit that bug me. For example, his arms are way too small for his body, and I know he's trying to tuck them back in, and Godzilla does do that. I'm not going to really argue about the fact that Godzilla's tucking his arms in, but they look way too skinny for the size of this monster, and it doesn't look like he ever moves his arms. Like, the one thing about Godzilla, even in the 1954 one, he moved his arms around to knock over a bridge, knock over buildings. This Godzilla looks like if he tried to knock over a building, his arm would break off, and I'm like, I don't want to see that. And also, there are some shots in this trailer where the tail looks just as thick as the rest of Godzilla's body, and it just looks so weird. Maybe it's a CG thing, because it's been said that Godzilla is going to be brought to life using a mix of suitmation and CG, so maybe they'll fix that in post before the movie's supposed to be released. But the arms and the tail just weird me out, and this Godzilla is way too slow. Now, I understand that they slowed down the action in order to give us the impression of how big Godzilla is. I get that, and I have no problem with that. But this Godzilla looks like he can barely walk, and he looks like he can barely move. Aside from his tail swinging back and forth, this Godzilla looks so motionless. Even a lot of the bulkier Godzillas, like the one from King Kong vs. Godzilla and 2014's Godzilla, they had a wide range of motion and could really move, while still giving you the impression that these were huge beasts. This Godzilla doesn't even move at all. It reminds me of that model used in Godzilla Raids Again, where where you're looking down at Godzilla from an airplane, but Godzilla's not even moving. The shots of Godzilla in this trailer remind me of that, so I'm not really too enthusiastic about his lack of movement in this trailer. And with the human characters, like I said, in order for us to really be invested in a solo Godzilla movie, the human characters do have to be compelling. Some of the actors in this movie look a little too much like models. I'm just wondering, it's like, okay, is this gonna be a Michael Bay situation where you have these beautiful people trying to be government officials? Is it gonna distract me from the movie? But I don't know. I think the biggest concern I have to worry about is if I'm ever going to see this movie before the year ends, because it's being released in Japan on July 29th, I believe. And there's no release date for the US, which I'm hoping this movie comes out in the US before 2017 comes around. Or better yet, the American Cinematheque would put on these special giant monster events at the Egyptian Theater where they would showcase a bunch of Japanese monster movies. And when they had those events in 2004 and 2005, that would be the first time American audiences could see Tokyo S.O.S. and Godzilla Final Wars. So I'm wondering if they're going to do the same thing for Godzilla Resurgence. It'd be cool because I would love to see this movie on the big screen if possible. So only time will tell. So for this trailer, I'm very mixed, but I'm very mixed because I want this movie to be good, but I don't want to have my expectations too high because I'm a big Godzilla fan. I've proven that I'm a huge Godzilla fan time and time and time again. I want this brand new Japanese Godzilla film to be awesome, so I'm hoping for the best. Although I will say, I am so lucky to be alive in a time where we have two Godzilla film series going on at the same time. One from Japan and one from the United States. So, boy, this is an excellent time to be alive. And those are my thoughts on the official trailer for Godzilla Resurgence. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can't wait to hear what your thoughts are on the Godzilla Resurgence trailer. I'll leave a link in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Don't forget to check out my official website. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, Periscope, and Rift.tv. Don't forget, the Indiegogo campaign for a faithful companion is still ongoing. There's only less than a month to donate, share with your friends. So do what you can to help fund this Firefly fan film. And this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you, there is only one.